I'm Blair Vaughn-Gruler. I'm a painter here in Santa Fe, New Mexico. As you can see, I use a really desaturated palette. I have a lot of line work in these pieces in particular. My work is a lot about organizing space, and in that process I'm sort of organizing my brain chemistry, which I think translates through the work to the viewer. So this painting is called NonLinear Dynamics, and if that's not the title of what we're living in right now, I don't know what is. It's created by a series of layers that started out, if you look into the painting, you can see all kinds of line work in and among each other, trying to talk to each other and make sense of, you know, some chaos and make sense of what's going on back and forth. So there's a variety of marks. Overarching the whole thing is sort of a web of the white that's working to coalesce it all together. I'm also really interested in pattern, and the way my brain works is I see patterns replicated throughout everything that I see. And I know in my painting, a lot of times it does come through the subconscious, and meanwhile my daily brain is trying to make sense of all of that. So this is a good example of that, like fitting things together. There's some architectural references, the language reference. How do those talk to each other throughout the day? That really is compelling to me. I started out the underpainting here with actually acrylic, and it's got a lot of textures. So it was involving dripping long lines down, using gravity to create the structure, sort of a quasi-grid kind of thing, because I also wanted it to be hand-drawn, and I wanted the chance of what the drips would do as I built that. And then on top of that, I went in and layered the mark making. Some are back behind, some come forward, some got painted over in the process, so setting up, again, that feeling of conversation. This is Relational Architecture, and it is mixed media on clayboard. It's 36 inches by 36 inches. Clayboard is a really interesting media to work with, and it, as in clay, it accepts media in different ways because it's a softer surface. So in this case, there's water media crayon, there's graphite, there's some inks, all in the underpainting that start to build up an atmosphere behind the oil paint that then lives on the surface and gives it the structure. I don't set out with a statement that I'm going to say. It's very process driven. So a lot of times I'm surprised by what it says at the end. But I know for sure the steps that I'm going to go through when I'm making it, and that's what compels me, and that's what informs the end product. Sometimes, you know, that might even end up being a little bit awkward, and I'm like, I like that, because life is awkward sometimes.